podcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
And welcome to the show, everybody. This is season 3, episode 16, which is kind of like the In and Out episode, right? Because they have the, 316 on the bottom of their cups. No?
I don't know. I've never been to an In and Out.
Well, that's a shame, and that's what she said. Anyway... I have no idea what that means, but it's episode 106, and welcome to the show, everybody.
Hooray.
Oh, I'm Colleen.
Hello.
I thought we did that part already.
I don't think I let you guys say your names.
Sure you did.
No, we did.
I did.
Oh, fuck.
Because literally before we started recording, I was going to say, hold on a second. I'm going to go close the door because Daniel is listening to, he's watching baseball in the other room and I can hear it and it's distracting. But then you started the thing. So I was like, okay, just be quiet and we'll just do it.
Yeah. That's what she said. Anyways.
So here we are.
Here we are. How's it going? I'm a little loopy today. I'm not going to lie. The last few days, it's just been I don't know. It's been those days where you're kind of weird. You're kind of off in a way.
Yeah. Every day? I mean, that's me anyway.
Well, I had to be highly functioning for the last 3 weeks at work. Just on it. And then yesterday, what's today, Tuesday? Yesterday I came in and I was like, I'm going to wrap everything up and, get all the reports out and blah, 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 blah. And then, I was kind of, pretty intense yesterday. And then today I got in and I was like, well, because I get in at 8:30. I was like, it's 8:30. I'm going to get some coffee. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to get more coffee. Okay, it's 9:30. I think I'm going to start working. But wait, hold on. Let me check WAPO real quick. Hold on, let me check Facebook. Oh, let me check all these other blogs I read. And then finally it was 11 o'clock, and I was like, so I think I'm going to start some work today. I just had one of those mornings where, I couldn't get started, and, I just felt how you get those, when you're, oh, my brain hurts.
Yeah, I have those days. I usually like to ease into the workday myself. I like to, open up my personal email, check my bank statement.
Yeah, I do the bank statements right.
God, you guys are so responsible. I'm trying to get in that habit. But
yeah, it's tough. It definitely is easier at the beginning of the month where you're like, I'm going to make my goal, for the month and I'm not going to overspend. And then because I told you guys what I do is we set the budget for the month and then I go in and see what's on the card and I divide it by the days left. So say hypothetically want to spend $1,000 and there's 30 days in the month. And so if I've got 16 days left in the month and I've spent and there's $500 left out of the 1,000, then I'll just divide that 500 by 16 and I'm okay, that's the goal of what to spend for the day. Anyway, so it's a lot easier when you're you have more to spend in the beginning of the month and then you're I don't know.
This is how you know you live in New York. I check my bank statement to make sure that nothing's going to bounce.
Do you do?
Yeah, I'm more along those lines too.
Yeah. Do you do
and
mostly
sometimes I
debit
almost
card?
don't want to know, so I put it off, and I think that's really why I don't check my bank every day.
Yeah.
But it's not very smart.
I mean, I check my checking account, but I have notices on my phone the day before bills go through, so I just, check it then. But everything else goes on the credit card.
Yeah.
So, my actual checking account does not see a lot of action until it's credit card payment day or the random things that get drafted from it, like the mortgage and the kids' daycare payments.
Yeah, it's more stuff than you think. I have an automatic at the top of the month, an automatic for my IRA comes out and rent. And then the occasional Venmo things back and forth. And then my copay for therapy, I still write checks.
Yeah.
And there's usually a couple weeks in between of when I hand over the check to when it leaves my account. So I kind of have to make sure I'm thinking about that because usually that's enough. Mm-hmm. That's a big enough check because we usually copay a couple months at a time. So it's enough money that if I'm not thinking I can very easily bounce it.
Okay.
I have in my calendar, I write down I circle the Fridays I get paid and then I write next to it what things I pay with that paycheck. And so that's how I track like when it's time to pay my
that's smart. See, now we try to budget everything within the credit card because we get all the Southwest points, and that's how we fly so much.
Yeah, that's
so
smart.
That's why like everything goes on the card, but those few like random things. But less, I have moved over from paying by check for. I have switched everything over to auto pay except the sporadic
that's how
things.
I have such a good credit score. I used to forget to pay for shit. Ever since I put everything on auto pay.
The computer helps me now.
Yes.
I actually did get in trouble. Do you guys remember back over Easter time when Zach was like really sick and we were like in the thick of it? It was he had that 105 fever for like 5 or 6 straight days, and we were at the doctor's like 3 times, and I was convinced that he was like dying. Like it was really bad, and it was just because that was over Easter, and I believe Easter was on April 1st this past year. So during that time period, I forgot to move the money over for our mortgage until the 2nd, and it would have drafted on the 2nd because the 1st was a Sunday, and I guess I was too late. I thought that I had time, and it bounced, and we got it. So it said it went through, but then we got all the notices like a week and a half later that it hadn't gone through. So we got the penalty and the this and the that, and that was fine. I was like, well, because I did put the money. I realized it at like 11 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't even like I realized it before it would auto draft at before 8 a.m. or 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So, but the humiliating part was I got so many notices in the mail and via email from them saying that if it ever happened again within the next 6 months, we would be forced to pay by check or by money order or something. Like we would not be allowed to have auto draft for like 2 more years or something.
Jesus Christ.
So I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm so sorry. I had a sick kid and I just wasn't on top of it. And the thing is, I get notices on my phone on the last day of each month to make sure to go in to put money in because I get paid on the last day because I only get paid on the 15th and the 30th or 31st or 28th of the month, the last day of the month and the midpoint. So generally, there's money in there, but I always have a notice, and just with Zach being sick, it just all threw it off. But yeah, that was definitely something that I was like, but I don't even know how to not pay via auto draft.
Right. Don't make me go back in time. I don't wanna.
Right.
Moving on from
whatever it was that we were talking about.
Whatever it was that we were just talking about, because stay tuned for that blooper show because I'm sure some of this will end up there. Not all of it though. Probably a good chunk is not, but some of it will. Anyway, Halloween is coming up next week. And as everybody knows, or may not know, but I'm going to say it here, Halloween is one of my favorites. Yay!
Nice.
We had a family theme.
I was going to say, what are the chitlins going as this year?
Oh my God. Okay, so it is like, it's causing me a little bit of anxiety trying to figure this out because we were going to do Avengers and Jay was going to be Iron Man, but the costume is too small, so he ordered the Tony Stark costume, which is not the actual Iron Man costume, so I have to return the Iron Man costume, but I'm like, but you're dressed as Tony Stark, not Iron Man, because I'm Black Widow.
Why do you need to buy a costume for that? Can't you just, wear a blazer?
Well, he actually got the it's like a thermal skin-tight kind of thing with the heart thingy in the middle.
Thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he ordered that, which actually ended up being like half the price of the Iron Man costume. So I was like, okay, well, maybe that's okay. But I'm Black Widow, and I, unlike Jay, understood that this costume was going to be skin tight. So I sized up, and although it's a little big in like the crotch area, it fits everywhere else. So I'm okay with that. That's the thing I got off of eBay. I wasn't going to do the wig, and then I ended up ordering the wig from Amazon the other day, so stay tuned for that. Zach is going to be Captain America.
Nice.
Which he also wants to be Chase from Paw Patrol, so I have 2 Captain America costumes and 2 Chase from Paw Patrol costumes because he's in between sizes for both. And I'm really hoping that the cheaper one of options of each fit, and then he goes with the Captain America one because it doesn't fuck up my theme. But we'll see. I might just tell him that it was too small and
buddy, it doesn't fit you. No, it really doesn't.
Yeah. So he's supposed to be Captain America, and Alex is going to be Baby Groot.
Oh,
Guardians of the Galaxy. And I have some fucking plans. So I had to make that costume, and I thought I could order it, and I realized on Sunday that I was just going to have to make it. So I ordered everything from Amazon, but then I realized, like, I should just go to the consignment store that I've gotten all of Zach's costumes from before, like the ones that I've made. So I have the Amazon one on backup, but I'm going to check out the consignment store tomorrow because I feel a lot better about like hot gluing things and wasting an outfit on something I paid like $1 for versus like, the $20 on Amazon. Yep. So I'm going to make the Baby Groot costume, but really stay tuned. I'm not going to ruin the surprise. I have like the thing that's going to make it, and I'm really excited about it, but I don't want to spoil it, but it's going to be really freaking cute.
Nice. I'm excited.
Yeah. What are you guys doing for Halloween?
Probably nothing.
We were recording a podcast.
Yes.
Oh, that is a thing. Okay, because I was thinking I might sign up to like give out candy at the apartment, but I'm not sure I'll be home in time. And if we're recording, I might just have to throw that idea out the window.
No. We could just start a little bit later.
Well, I'm not sure I'll be back in time because the trains and stuff. I have not gotten home before 7 o'clock.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Guys, the subway system, this should be a surprise to no one, is having some issues.
I hear Belgium has a great subway system.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm leaving. I'm going back to Stockholm.
Stockholm there, sorry.
It's probably a shorter commute. But, it's taken me an hour each way.
Oh my God.
Every day.
Oh my
You might
God.
as well just move to the suburbs and take the Long Island Railroad or whatever the Connecticut train is.
Probably, yeah. I mean, from my parents' house, it's an hour 50. So really, it's only another 50 minutes from there. And then I could have like a driveway.
Woo! And no rent.
Anyway, Halloween costumes, you were saying?
Oh, no, that's it. We went, Shandy, and Zoe is going to be, oh, fuck. I ordered Zoe's costume, but I don't remember what I ordered. I think she's going to be maybe Thor, because there was a chew toy hammer, and I was like, this is so cute.
Yeah, that's really funny. I like that. Or like the Hulk. I think it'd be funny if she was the Hulk.
She might be. I mean, I can't remember. It's still, I ordered it a while ago, but it's still in the box upstairs because I was like, I'm going to make it fit regardless.
Yeah, fair.
Cool.
Oh, anyway.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything for Halloween except podcasting. Woo. I usually buy some candy just to be prepared, and some years I have like 2 people, and some years I have 0 people. I also haven't got a pumpkin this year, and I don't think I'm going to. So I think I'll just keep the lights off and podcast and not buy candy.
Get drunk with us.
Yeah. That's true. Maybe we should all have like special spooky cocktails or something.
Oh my gosh. Last year when I did the Halloween party for the grown-ups, or for our friends rather, I had this caramel apple vodka with apple cider or something. I'm going to make it again on Saturday because we're actually going to have a little Halloween party for Zach's friends this year instead. Oh, and it started out as, it was supposed to be small, and now there's 16 kids coming, and Jay's not going to be there.
Damn.
And like my anxiety about this is kind of through the roof, and I'm like, so my parents are going to be here.
That's good.
And my sister, but I keep thinking like, fuck, why didn't I invite Jana?
Jana, what are you doing?
I know.
Want to come over on Saturday?
But yeah, good times. So we're doing that. But I want to I was just going to get like a 6-pack, or not a 6-pack, like a 12-pack of just pumpkin beers or something.
6-pack and everyone has to share. So you pick your drinking buddy and you split a beer.
I was going to get like a 12-pack.
I mean, they're 4, so.
Of, Well, I'll have my own secret stash, much like at the podcast meetup where I'm like, don't put this beer in the cooler for everyone. Put this one in my pantry. I'm going to drink out of this. But no, so I think I just want to get like a 12-pack of like pumpkin beers because not everybody is going to drink. It's 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, but I'm going to get pizza at 5, and then they can all, hang out for as long as they want after 5, but like whatever. So I know people will drink because it's, not noon. It's 3.
Yeah.
So, but
Let's be fair, even if it was noon,
True.
it's lunchtime drinks.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
So you
I
just
would.
have Bloody Marys. Bloody Marys also a Halloween themed drink.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! If I do,
You can
oh my
make
god!
those
I
little,
could still
lychee eyeballs.
no. I could
Oh.
do Bloody Marys, and I'm gonna get little coasters that are mirrors.
Oh, that's clever.
Isn't-
Yeah.
I don't know where I would find them at this close of notice, but I'm gonna do that for next year.
Oh, you might be able to get stuff like that at Michael's. Like, they might have to make ornaments or stuff. Like you might be able to get like little discs of mirrors.
But wouldn't? Oh my god, that'd be so funny.
Yeah. They might not be the right size, but they'd be close enough. That,
It's about the gag.
yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Like it would, yeah, I think it'd be close enough that you could get away with it. I think you should check it out.
Holy shit, that is such a great idea.
Go on Michael's website right now while we're talking.
Oh, speaking of Michael's website. Okay, no, let me focus. But let me just say, we've started to use some of the picture frames that I bought. So
Oh, good.
I know, right? So yeah, I was thinking of the beer, and then I was thinking of doing that caramel apple vodka cocktail thing that we did last year. Then kids will I have games. My boss brought me in because she had a little kids party a few years ago. She brought me in like a ring toss and beanbag toss and like all this fun stuff. And we bought my mom and I bought little pumpkins so we can they can decorate them.
Oh, fun.
To which
cute.
Jay was like, "Are you kidding me? You're gonna let them like glue and draw things on the table?" And I was like, "I also bought a vinyl tablecloth. It's gonna be fine."
Oh, we used to also, my best friend growing up, they used to have Halloween parties. And
Ooh,
Big
give me your
Hit,
idea.
they used to buy like a thing of Dunkin' Donuts, and they would tie the donuts on a string around like a beam, and you'd have to like eat the donut with like your hands tied, like clasped behind your back, and whoever could eat the donut all the way around first won some kind of prize.
Oh my god, I love that idea.
Yeah. And it's super easy, and like, it's a donut. Everybody likes donuts.
Especially 4-year-olds.
And as I would imagine, as an adult, it's probably really fun to watch.
Well, okay. So my mom was saying, my mom and I were trying to think of games and stuff, and she calls me and she goes, "So I had this weird moment when I realized like the sign of the changing of the time, because at first I thought, oh my god, they could bob for apples. That'd be so cute. And then I thought, oh my god, that would be so gross." And I was like, yes, it is kind of gross nowadays.
Uh-huh.
And then I thought of how many times I bobbed for apples that other kids had put their mouth in and how disgusting that was.
No good.
Yeah.
So anyway, the last real thing I have is we took the kids to a we went to a farm that has like pumpkin patch and a corn maze and just different little things on Sunday, and because this would make the third time that we've done this now because I can't get enough of it. And this is Zach's first time in the corn maze, and he was like super excited, and he's going through and he's like, "Where's the corn?" And they had harvested the corn to use for the like corn pit, which they also had, but he would find like the random thing of corn, and he kept thinking that like a corn maze meant you had to search the maze for corn to pick and take home. So he would try to like pull.
Sounds more fun, to be honest.
Well, he would keep trying to like pull it off, and it would be like the rotted ones that they didn't deem like worthy.
That are still there for a reason.
Yeah. And Jay was like, "Dude, you don't want this one. Like, you could see where the maggots ate here." And it was just really funny. But he was like, "No, Daddy, that's okay. We'll get the next one." And like, he would not accept in his brain, like his mind, he would not accept, despite the many, many times that we were like, Zach, you can't pull it off. Like, it's not even ripe enough to, like, pull it. And he'd be like, that's okay, Daddy. That's okay, Mommy. We can get the next one.
It's like, okay, buddy. It's not going to be the next one.
He really was.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Well, it was really cute. But anyway, that's it. We're volunteering at the polls on Friday, so.
Cool.
Nice. Do you know, like, what you'll be doing? Just, like, helping check people in, or?
I don't know. I don't think we'll be helping check people in, because we're volunteering through the Wake County Democrats, so
Okay.
I think we're going to be, like, handing out voter guides, or I don't know, actually. All we know is we got email instructions saying, please don't wear any shirts that have any kind of, like, politics on them or for one party. It was very basic instructions, like, please arrive at this time. It wasn't anything that told us what we were going to do. So I am kind of excited for what we're going to do, but
Nice.
I think the people that check people in, though, get paid.
Oh.
Or at least in New York they do, because that's when I told my mom we were volunteering, because she's going to be down there, and I was like, we're volunteering. She said that her cousin has volunteered before and been a checker-inner, and she's actually gotten paid through the Board of Elections. But
Oh, wow.
I think that because we're doing it for a party, we are, just volunteers. Which is fine, because,
Ethics wrapped up in that, yeah.
Well, I mean...
But what is ethics now?
What is
it's
ethics
2018.
nowadays?
Ethics are over.
Just call me a not nationalist. Why did you just say
Oh, God.
I'm a globalist, or whatever the opposite of a Nazi is?
Yeah. The opposite of that, and then keep going. Ooh, speaking of ethics, I am so into The Good Place. Guys, I have been through, like, the first season and a half in, like, since Friday.
Really?
Nice. I love those short episodes. That reminds me, I have a good 2, maybe 3 episodes to watch. The last couple.
Nice. Yeah, but it's so good. I feel bummed that it took me so long to get here, but I'm so glad I am. Like, I can see why people love it.
Right, exactly. And now, like, you got to binge a bit. So, it's kind of worth it, right?
Right. And I think it's hard. Yeah. And it's like, I think for comedies, it's hard to have a cliffhanger. Usually, like, a comedy is, like, contained within it's like 23 minutes and the episode's over. And you're like, oh, great. I'm excited for next week. But, like, they structure the story in such a way that, like, the episode ends and you're like, oh, my God, what happens? I need to know.
Yeah, super true.
So I guess in that regard, I'm glad for the bingeability. But, oh, my God, I am absolutely loving it. So thank you to every single person who has suggested it for the past few years.
All right. Well, now I have to watch it.
It's real good.
Okay.
Well, it's like, and I think the jokes really are just solid. Like, you can just kind of drop in and it's still funny. Like, I've been watching and, like, Daniel will walk into the room and he'll be, like, on his computer and, like, he'll start laughing.
Yeah.
Even though he has no idea what's going on or who any of the characters are. Like, the jokes just stand on their own and they're just, like, objectively funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I will check it out. I'm going to add it to the long list of things that I have to do now that my 3 hell weeks are over.
Yeah, well, and it's honestly, it's really nice too to have a show that is a comedy that has short episodes. It's just kind of like there's some good, interesting things to think about, but also you can kind of just sort of like relax from the craziness of everything else and have 100%. A little palate cleanser.
Yep, 100% agree.
Which is also what I say about the Great British Bake Off.
Also, great show.
True.
Okay, I will check out The Good Place though. I do want to watch it because I love me some Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that she did the narration for that one show.
Oh, Gossip Girl.
Yes.
Gossip Girl. XOXO.
XOXO.
Yeah.
I kind of want to rewatch Veronica Mars seasons 1 and maybe 2 right now. Season 1 of Veronica Mars, I think I'm on record as saying, is my favorite one single season of TV ever.
Where can you watch Veronica Mars these days?
I don't know. I guess I could look it up.
What is Veronica Mars about? Is she one of the superheroes, or is this something completely different?
So she is a teenage detective. It's very Nancy Drew.
Teenage detective. Okay.
No, it's incredible TV. Have you seen it, Amanda?
I have not, but I lived with you during the height, I feel like, of your love for it. So I knew of its existence.
It's incredible. Okay, so essentially it's Monster of the Week episodes that also has like an overarching story like arc for the season, and the overarching story is Veronica Mars's best friend was murdered and she's trying to figure out who, but she's also a private detective. She's trying to help her dad, who is recently divorced and a single dad, and they don't have a lot of money, so he's a private detective and she helps him out on cases, but she also takes extra cash on the side from her rich people that go to the high school that she goes to. It sounds kind of far-fetched, but like if you watch it, like I dare anybody out there.
Disbelief. Yeah, that's fine.
I dare anybody out there to watch Veronica Mars season 1 and not want to watch the whole thing within 2 or 3 days.
Cool.
It's like I will say, I have said this before on podcasts. I love season 1 of Veronica Mars more than I love season 1 of Lost or season 1 of Arrested Development.
I could see that.
It's
very solid.
It's just awesome. So
still haven't seen Lost, so I can't really.
I feel like I've only seen season 1 of Lost.
We are bad Jane Jack podcasters.
That's okay.
I thought the pilot episode of Lost was perfect.
It really is pretty perfect.
And then they kind of lost me.
I'm not going to comment on that because I think season 1 is actually pretty awesome.
Perhaps I will check it out, but I am now in season 2 of Jane the Virgin. And there's still a lot more to go.
There's so much more. So you have such a journey ahead of you.
It's going to take me a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and those are like, because they are full hour shows.
Yes.
They like kind of have the levity of a sitcom. Yeah. They just keep going. Like the episodes just they cover a lot of ground and they feel their length. And like in a good way. That's what she said. Whatever. Okay, move on.
Yeah. No, it is nice to have both though, because like sometimes Jane the Virgin, even though I'm really enjoying it, it's just a big commitment to like sit down and watch an entire episode.
Well, yeah, that's kind of Veronica Mars too. It's in that like 42 to 45 minute. Season 1 is actually when CW was WB.
Oh yeah. So then Veronica Mars started in the 90s.
When
did the WB move over?
It started in 2006, I think. It was the last year that CW was WB. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought that turnover happened much earlier than it did. Cool.
I don't think so, unless I'm wrong, which I could be, but I highly recommend it. So after everything else we've told you to go watch, I literally might start Veronica Mars tonight after this, and we're going to finish at like midnight my time, but like that's how much I fucking love season 1 of Veronica Mars. I'm just saying. It's so good. Okay. Somebody else talk. Otherwise, I'm going to start to tell ghost stories.
Okay, you were right. 2006 is when the WB television. Sorry, I'm on Wikipedia. Television network shut down on September 17th, 2006.
Oh,
huh.
So you were right.
I only remember
I shouldn't
because
have doubted the Queen of Years.
I remember the outcry with what is going to happen with certain shows like Veronica Mars, and that's the only reason why I remember that. And I know that season 2 was the year after we lived together, and we lived together set 2007, 2008.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the last time we lived together. We lived together many times before that.
Yes. No, I knew what you meant. I was yeah.
Anyway, I feel like I've talked so much. Does anybody else have anything that they've done that's exciting?
Dude, I feel like I've talked a lot too. Shandy, take it and go.
I just wanted to say that I've taken a page out of your book, Amanda, and I have slowly, over the course of 2 weeks, set my alarm clock in incremental, like little 5-minute increments, set it back far enough to do about 25 minutes of yoga in the morning.
Ooh, boom! Good on you, girl. How do you feel?
Fucking wonderful.
That's awesome.
I am like kind of becoming addicted. Like I do it in the morning, and then that's what she said. And then like I love her pre and post run videos in particular. So like
I do the post run a lot.
Yeah, I usually try to do that. And then on some days, like if I have enough time, I'll do like a fuller length video. Also, like later in the day, I'm just like all the videos. Just
good.
I love it so much.
Glad.
Yes.
Oh, so hooray.
Cool. Yes. So I didn't think that I could, but here I am.
How long are each of the videos?
So thank you, Amanda.
Great. They're not long. She has a lot of videos in the kind of 18 to 25 minute range.
Oh, okay.
And I think that seriously was key to like getting me to this point because I mean, you could literally start with like a 15-minute video or even like a 7-minute video because she does have those too. But like, you know, you start with like a 15 or 20-minute video and not feel overwhelmed. And then, I mean, it really was kind of like a matter of making it like a daily or almost daily practice where it's just sort of like part of your day.
Yeah.
Even if you're only there for 15 minutes, you're there. And so then it's like a thing that you do. And then you form a good habit, and then you can like go longer.
Yeah,
also, what
she said. Yes.
Also what she said. I feel like some of those 20, 25-minute videos, like some of them, like you're still working. Like they're
totally.
Some of them are pretty tough, and I'm like sweating and feeling it by the end. So it's it's not like it's like, you know, you're just sitting there breathing for 20 minutes, and you're like, well, that didn't feel like a workout. It's like it's a lot really good balance.
It really is, because like a lot of times that's literally how it starts out. You're sitting there breathing, and then all of a sudden you're like doing stuff, and
I'm like, okay, I didn't realize I could like hold my leg in this direction. This is pretty cool.
Yes, I've like gained flexibility already. Although it's funny because like in the morning I'm still always just kind of like you know, super not, you know, you just woke up, but like even that I feel like probably over time it will just get better and better.
Yeah. Well, and I find it helps because I wake up super stiff. And then it's like the mornings that I can get myself to do a video before getting in the shower. I know. Most people
have literally out of frame
where they wake up stiff. You know, it happens to a lot of people. We shouldn't be ashamed about it. You know, we should be open and talking about it.
It's natural. It's a natural occurrence.
It's a natural occurrence.
Right there with you. It's real hard in the morning.
It's real hard.
I'm so happy I do it.
But like stretching out helps is the point I was trying to get to.
Taking time for self-care.
Stretch it real good.
And there's lots of ways to do that.
There really are. Yeah.
With Adrienne.
Yeah, no, it's funny because this is kind of creepy, but she kind of feels like a friend. Like,
yeah.
I love that.
And it's just like you were saying, Amanda, she's so just like goofy and weird, and like I love how much her personality comes through in the videos, and it's super funny.
Especially like the more recent ones. Like you can tell she's like, you know what, dude, I am making money hand over fist doing this. I've got like millions of followers. Like clearly people like what I'm doing. If I want to have my dog in the background, if I want to like make a weird joke at my own expense, like I'm going to do it. And I think they're more enjoyable for it.
Totally. Yeah. No, it's really great. So that's been great. That's kind of been what I've been up to. Still like running, but like I'm doing shorter distances. I haven't been really able to work up or putting in the time, I guess, to work up distance yet, but I feel like I'm doing the shorter stuff better and with like more speed work. So I don't know, hopefully, anyway, whatever. I'm just trying to have like a more balanced everything. And I think the yoga is really good for that. So little by little.
Yay. Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Really
and who knew someday you guys will see my bedroom and my little space where I do my yoga, and like, it is not big enough, but damn if I made it happen.
Hey, just need to
put a mat down.
That little mat, exactly.
Yeah. It's certain stretches, like when you go out, like wide, you know.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Woohoo!
I love it.
Yeah.
I wanted to have a Halloween themed episode because I love Halloween and all that stuff. So grab your caramel apple martinis, and who's ready for some ghost stories?
All right.
So I have
grabbed
a
the pumpkin
mixture.
beer today.
What?
Yes, I have blood red wine.
I have pumpkin beer. Brooklyn Brewery makes a pumpkin beer.
Oh, they do? Oh, my God. I had that with my dad when I was home last month. It is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's really good. Well, it's like my normal beer place. So, sorry, I'm going to digress a little bit.
No, I love this beer. So I'm so excited for you to tell this story. Go ahead.
So the hot tip in the neighborhood of Ditmas Park, Brooklyn, the best place to get beer is this like tiny Asian bodega right off the subway. So I was like, oh, like I need to get some beer for recording tonight. I'm going to stop on the way. And there's literally a sign on the door that says, beer temporarily out of service.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Straight up, that's what it said. I should have taken a picture. It was so funny. So I'm like, oh no, where am I going to go? I don't want to go to the co-op and like wait in like a 20-minute line just for beer. I'm like, okay, there's a deli. I'll just stop there. I know they have some beer. Like it's not the best, but whatever. And like, this was the only 6-pack of the Brooklyn Pumpkin they had. It was like the only 6-pack of Brooklyn Brewery that they had. And I was like, looking, I'm like, I'm going to just take it. Oh, it's good. And there was like some guy standing behind me, like, I don't know, like waiting for me to get my beer before he like joined me in like the row of beer cases. So I don't know. And it did not disappoint. It's
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All
so,
right.
You know, if you also can find the one lone 6-pack in your store, play it.
Yeah, I believe I gave it the elusive like 4.75 on my Untapped when I had it.
Ooh.
That's how much I liked it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got some fun ones, and I've got some really fucking terrifying ones.
Oh my God.
Oh dear.
And then I also have something afterwards as like a palate cleanser because I figured people would be scared.
Okay, because I legitimately get scared.
Oh my God, I'm scared already.
Okay. Well,
And I'm alone in my apartment right now because my roommate just went to a conference. So I'm just going to...
okay. Well, have no fear.
Do any of them take place in California?
None of them I don't think have locations.
Good. Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
God, I think that
So-
almost makes it worse.
Look, I'm going to start with a very tame one, and I'm going to end with a very like, aw, one, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So, here we go. Ooh, are you afraid of the broadcast? Ooh.
I'll call to order a meeting of the 9:30 Society. Yeah.
Talk about shows that I want to be on Netflix so badly.
I know.
I
I hope
know.
it holds up. It probably super doesn't.
Jay and I were talking about that the other day of what your favorite episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark would be, or the one that scared you the most. And the one that scared me the most was the boy with the red bicycle one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's very few I actually remember watching because I feel like it was on too late.
Oh,
So like we weren't allowed to watch TV that late.
I
at
used to
night.
rewatch them when they were at 5 o'clock on reruns.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I upset your flow. Continue.
No, it's okay. I appreciated it a lot. Okay. I lived alone in an old house in the historic district of Memphis. Oh, I guess I was just kidding. It does have.
That's okay. It's Memphis. That's fine.
Yeah. Know where we
As
are.
long as it's not like in the Bay Area, I'm okay.
I'd often get woken up in the middle of the night to country music coming from the radio. I don't listen to country music, and the radio had a dial. I'd have to change the dial back to my normal station while getting ready for work in the morning, so the dial used to change itself. Ooh. Anyway, I also say that all of these come from Reddit. They were compiled by sites like People.com, The Insider, Cosmo. I went to actual Reddit, but like they all are, or BuzzFeed. They're all from actual Reddit, though. Let's see. Here's a creepy one.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 7, I feel like I should be playing creepy music underneath us right now, so I might be doing that. When I was 7, I suddenly awoke in the middle of the night to a young child kneeling near my bed praying. At first, I thought it was my younger brother, so I asked him what he was doing. After I asked, he slowly looked at me and stood up and started running. So I hopped out of bed and followed him down the stairs and out my front door. We had a long driveway, and I followed him all the way to the end, and then he simply vanished. I went back to my room, and nothing like that has happened since.
Of course, I'm not like, wait, did I just hear a noise downstairs?
Oh, this one actually is kind of freaky, too. I was home alone and in the bath, but I had closed the door so that my dogs wouldn't run in and try to jump into the bath with me. I was in there for a good 45 to 50 minutes, and when I climbed out and opened the door, a table had been moved right in front of the door.
Oh my God.
I never heard a thing while it was happening. Never even heard my dogs bark, and they bark for anything. And they were outside playing, which was very strange, because I didn't put them outside.
I just have to remind myself that this is not real.
No, most of it is not. It's literally, there was Reddit threads, so people made shit up. Okay. And now, back to our mirror theme. Our mirror, if you will. Our mirror theme. When my boyfriend was about 4 years old, he would talk to a man that he saw in the mirror. Naturally, his parents were curious about his behavior, and they asked him questions about the man. He told his parents details about the man, including his appearance, hobbies, and how he died. It turns out that one of the former owners of the house was a man who committed suicide, and he matched the description of the man that my boyfriend saw in the mirror. When his parents found out, they moved out of the house a month later. Dun, dun, dun! A friend of mine moved into a new home. One day while cleaning, he accidentally knocked down a hanging mirror, shattering it into hundreds of pieces. He laid the mirror frame on the kitchen table and went down to the basement to get a broom to sweep up the glass. When he got upstairs... Sorry, I can't read apparently. This is also in size like 9, which I'm not sure why I should make it bigger. When he got back upstairs... Actually, I'm going to make this bigger. Okay, there we go.
Sometimes bigger is better.
Bigger is better in this case. Okay. When he got back upstairs, all of the pieces had been laid exactly to the last piece back into frame. My friend had only left the mirror for a minute, and no one else was in the house. I think the ghost didn't want him to have 7 years of bad luck.
That's a very nice ghost.
Maybe Bloody Mary wanted her exit still. One night, my mom heard a crash in our kitchen, but figured that I was up to something and dropped... Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I did make this bigger, but apparently I still can't read. One night, my mom heard a crash in our kitchen, but figured I was up and dropped something. The next morning, my dad walked downstairs and thought that it was ice on the floor, but after looking at it, the ice wasn't melting. It was actually glass shards. They cleaned up the glass, which was on the floor, the countertops, and even under the lip of the countertops, along the table of some of the drawers/cabinets. It was as if someone had stood back and threw a glass object at the wall or something. We had no idea where it was from. The glass was too thick to be from any of the vases, whatever, or glasses or bowls in the house. We had a huge family meeting in the kitchen trying to figure out what happened and where the glass came from. We still have no idea. So basically, a ghost had a terrible twos temper tantrum. Okay, this one is actually super fucking creepy, and I'm going to read this one in the middle of them all, because this is the one that actually kind of freaked me out the most. But I'm going to read other lame ones, like the throwing the glass one, and after this, okay? When I was 7 years old, my brother, who was 4, my mother and I were on our way home from a movie. While we were pulling up to the driveway, my mom tells us to stay still and to not move. She closes her eyes and then looks shaken up about something. She continues to tell us to stay down and be quiet. Then, in a hurry, she pulls out of the driveway, and while she drives off, she calls my stepfather. My stepfather was a police officer, and she told him to come back up to the house. He kept asking why, and she just adamantly told him to come back to the house. When we got back, later on, there was a man being handcuffed and taken away. My stepfather and a detective were there, and they asked her, "What did you see?" She said, "I didn't see anything, but I had a vision where a man came out of our bushes pulling out a 12-inch blade and forced us into the house." The detective and my stepfather were speechless. They stared at my mom, and they said they had just arrested a man with a 12-inch blade matching the description she gave.
Jesus.
Okay, here's a happier one. Ready? It involves Ouija boards, but not in the creepy way.
I mean, that one, though, is kind of happy because
they lived.
She avoided potential misfortune.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, so here's a happy Ouija board one. Kind of. I never believed in Ouija boards. I thought they were kind of dumb, silly fun. But a group of kids on my high school band trip, when I was a sophomore in high school, were using one because it was Friday the 13th. So I decided to try it. My friend Darcy and I did it together, and as soon as I touched the thing, it started moving really fast. Then it said, "It's Andy. You are beautiful. Tell your mom I miss her and I'm happy. I love you."
Andy.
Ah!
My mom had a twin brother named Andy who died in a car accident when they were 16. God. I obviously knew this, but I never told anyone. The only other person doing the Ouija board with me was Darcy. She had no idea who Andy was, and I wasn't the one moving the pointer. But that's happy, because dead twin uncle was happy.
Yeah. Dude, that shit's real, though. Like,
yeah,
Ouija boards are freaky.
Oh, I've listened to enough Mysterious Universes that I am, like, done with Ouija boards for forever.
As in because you believe them?
No, just all the things that they, like, potentially can, like, bring in if you believe in that stuff, like spirits and whatever. Yeah. Like, I don't want to risk it. Even though they're probably all fake, I don't want to risk it.
No, dude, in high school, like, one of my friends made a Ouija, because that was her thing, was, like, she had made Ouija boards before, just, like, out of a box, and, like, painted over it and stuff, and she gave one to me, and we, like, did it, and, like, just saying, like, that shit works, and
it is really creepy, right?
Yeah. No, I believe in them. I think they work.
Yeah.
Mysterious Universe has done a lot of different segments over the years on Ouija boards, and one of them is one of, like, a kid who was in, like, second grade, and maybe, I know Jessica listens to this show, and Matt is a MU listener, and whoever else, but I think the kid was in, like, second grade and, like, got super possessed from the Ouija board, and it took, like, years to unpossess it, and it was over, like, a harmless Ouija board, like, experiment or something. So, and they also have spoken about them, like, in other times, so it's enough to creep me out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the one that my friend made for me, like, I kept through high school, and, like, I kind of just kept it in this room.
Yeah.
It was just, like, this weird room, and then I don't know, when my mom moved, I don't know if I, like, threw it away or what, but, like, I do not have that anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
By the way, the really scary story, it's over now, right?
Yeah.
I took out my earbuds.
That was real slick. I didn't even notice.
I didn't even notice either.
Yeah, and then I could hear you still talking, like, through the earbuds, so I turned up the volume. Waited till Amanda talked.
I have a funnier one now. I'm more, okay. You know.
Yeah, fun fact, I am a major wuss. I get real scared.
I know, that's why I get a good blend of these. And I made sure to include something afterwards as a palate cleanser.
Right. But it's like, once you put those ideas in my mind, they don't go anywhere.
But there's no such thing as
ghosts. They just stay in my mind.
Yeah. Overactive imagination. I don't even want to know what my dreams are going to be like tonight. But you know what? It'll be an adventure. We'll see.
Okay. Here's a happy one, kind of. One evening, I was watching TV while sitting on the sofa. I had a rubber band in my hand, and I flicked it across the room in an arc behind the TV. The next thing I know, it drops on my head. There wasn't enough power to bounce it off the walls. I have no idea how it ended up on my head, but I'm pretty sure a ghost was playing tricks on me.
Yeah, that's because you probably freaking flicked the rubber band at him, you asshole. Like, screw you. Sitting over here minding my own business.
Yeah. Seriously. Don't be a dick to a ghost.
Don't be a dick to a ghost.
Okay, this one's kind of creepy, so I won't read this one. This one's also... Okay, I have some creepier ones. And now I don't want to creep you out, but like...
You can still read them. I'll just not listen.
Well, we
You can tell me when it's over.
We can save some for next week, too.
No.
Because it'll actually be Halloween.
Yeah, but then by the time it's out, it's after Halloween, and more people are
Yeah, but it'll be
about
like Dia de los Muertos time when it comes out. So,
exactly. Who doesn't
still
like a
on
little
theme.
extra Halloween?
All right, I'll save some of these. I will read 2 more, okay?
Okay.
One of them is like your classic kind of ghost story, and then one of them is a heartwarming ghost story to end on. Okay.
Fair. And it was a good compromise.
Okay. Ooh. There was a house I lived in during my second year of college. A couple of days after moving in, we chatted to with an elderly neighbor who had lived in the neighborhood for decades. She told us that she couldn't remember anyone living in the house for more than 2 years, even when it was more of a residential / family neighborhood than student housing. The weirdness started in the kitchen. Several times when I was washing dishes, I'd see someone come out in the come in out of the corner of my eye and hear their footsteps as well. Of course, when I turned, there was no one there. Not long after, one roommate started saying she kept feeling a cat jumping on her bed and walking around at night. We did not have a cat. A friend who was visiting fell down a few stairs and said she swore she felt someone push her. Once I was sitting with a roommate and she put her iPod down on the coffee table. I saw her do this. It was gone when she went to pick it up again. We tore apart the whole room looking for it and it just vanished. It turned up on the couch a month later. The creepiest incident was when I woke up one morning and my bedside table was 2 feet away from where it had been. I went downstairs and the first thing my roommate, whose bedroom was next to mine, said was, "Did you hear the footsteps last night?" She told me she had heard me go to bed, and about an hour later, a second set of footsteps climbed up the stairs and into my room before stopping. The 2 of us were the only ones home at the time. She never heard anyone leave my room. Dun, dun, dun. And then here is the last one. And this one's actually not creepy, okay? I promise. Shandy, I super promise. You can keep your headphones in for this one, all right? This is the one where, like, the fucking mics of the world roll their eyes and go, this isn't real. One day when my daughter was 2 years old, we were having a typical terrible twos moment. She was throwing a bit of a tantrum for about 5 to 10 minutes, and we couldn't get her under control. At some point, she rather suddenly stopped and started staring at the wall. She then started lightly giggling. It was weird. 1 second she was crying and screaming, and the next she is smiling and happy. I think that's called being a woman. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally just joking. Stereotypes.
Maybe he was pooping.
Okay.
How old is this kid? 2?
2. Then she starts saying, "Funny lady," over and over again. We asked her who she saw, and she pointed to the wall and again said, "The funny lady." When we asked her to describe who she saw, she described my deceased grandmother. And I mean exactly described her.
Yeah. I've heard these kind of stories.
Yeah, she had never met her, and I don't think she ever even had seen a picture. Not that a 2-year-old could remember a picture. I am not much of a believer in the paranormal, but I know for sure that my daughter got a chance to meet my grandma, and that makes me happy. When I told the story to my parents, they didn't seem as shocked as I was. When I tried to get a response from them, they looked at me and they said, "I guess you don't remember that you met your deceased grandfather when you were 3. The exact same thing happened to you 30 years ago."
Oh, I love that.
I know, I kind of love that one too, right?
That is, yeah, I love that.
I put that one last on purpose because I was like, surely we can end on a happy note.
Yeah.
But still like little kids and ghosts and dead people.
Well, they do say people that believe in such paranormal things say that the reason that children tend to experience more of it in the non-frightening way is because they don't quite have a grasp on, until they're about 5 or 6, what's reality and what's make-believe yet. That is a theory that is out there.
No, makes sense.
But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I skipped some of the truly fucking terrifying ones. Sorry, what were you going to say, Amanda?
No, I think those were good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Do you listen to the Spooked podcast?
I've never heard of it, but I'm about to.
Oh my God. I think you would love it. So one of my favorite podcasts, like in existence, Snap Judgment, they used to always do a spooked episode for Halloween. So like every Halloween, they do a whole episode devoted to ghost stories, because the whole podcast is just like storytelling. And it became so popular that they've spun it off into like its own show, its own spin-off show. And so they do like 8 weeks starting in August leading up to Halloween. And it's all just ghost stories. So they're in their second season now. And it's really, really freaking great. So if you like those kind of stories, like just imagine them with like sound design and sound effects and music and like a fully produced thing.
I found it.
Hooray.
Yay. I've been listening to this week this podcast called The Dream, and it's about multi-level marketing and pyramid schemes, and it ties it into Donald Trump. Yeah, it's actually it's a pretty interesting listen, and it's very much like how these things take advantage of women, especially. It's definitely worth a listen. It's very educational, but I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think next week or within the next week or so, we will talk about In the Dark. So everyone make sure that they listen to In the Dark Season 2.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes.
And actually, speaking of In the Dark, getting into some of the farting in your facey back, Mike says In the Dark Season 2 is a must. I definitely feel like Season 3 is a good follow-up to it. I do find it tough to take Sarah's naivety seriously after hearing how Madeline Barron and the crew handled their investigation. It's my only real negative of this season of Serial. And Fallon says, In the Dark Season 2 actually caused me to open my wallet and donate to what they do. I was talking to about it to everyone. And
nice.
Brian says, I'm sorry, Mike had continued with what happened to Curtis Flowers is a modern-day lynching, which... I mean, I agree. So I was just going to read all 4 of these, and then we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Brian says, Serial Season 3 is totally amazing. I would love to be the 7th broad. I will catch up on In the Dark. I am familiar with the case, and it is representative of a lot of issues in the criminal justice system. So we will talk about In the Dark, like I said, in the next week or so. I'm giving everyone enough time to listen to it. But thoughts based on that feedback?
Yeah. I think it took me an episode or 2 to really get into it. But yeah, it's really an incredible story.
Isn't it?
Totally insane.
It's insane, and it's laid out so great, and Madeline does such a wonderful job.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's just...
They moved there
and
for...
Right. And not to step up on my soapbox for public media, but I'm gonna. I think there's something really earnest about public media, and they're really willing to go there and like put the money towards the right thing, like spending the budget to be there on the ground and investigating the story for as long as it took to tell their story. I think is something that is really remarkable, and unfortunately, like kind of, I don't want to say unique, but kind of unique.
Yeah. So we'll put a pin there, because everyone, when you get a chance, when you're done listening to us, go listen to Season 2 of In the Dark, and we would love to have a lot of feedback and have a good section of a future show dedicated to it, because it's that good. And like I said to Mike in the Facebook group, in defense of Serial Season 3, I think that Sarah has to play naive because she's getting a lot of people to talk to her by being like, oh, what do you mean? Why don't you just explain it to me? And you have a lot of hubris in some of those people in Serial Season 3, in my opinion, that speak to her a lot more when they don't see her as a certain way versus like being naive and some of the shit she gets them to say, like the police union rep guy in that one episode.
I'm not that far into it. I think I've only done 2 or 3 episodes. I've been ignoring like every other podcast trying to get caught up on In the Dark.
Well, let's just say there's a dude in there that's a MAGA, and she like just brilliantly eggs him on by being naive. And also arguing with him at the same time. Like, I find Serial Season 3 to be, great journalism. But we talked about that last week. Okay. Matt says, while it wasn't written nor directed by a woman, the new Halloween is a great showcase for Jamie Lee Curtis. It also had the biggest opening weekend for a film with an over 55-year-old female lead. Another recommendation for the book pile, Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. It's a short story collection that feels like The Twilight Zone meets David Lynch with a female perspective. FX is going to adapt it into a series. It's certainly a good Halloween reading for the broads. Also, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley turns 200 this year. I have read Frankenstein, actually.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Never have.
Ooh, it's worth reading.
Yeah,
I have it. It's like the cheesy Borders hardcover fake fancy one, but you can borrow it if you want.
Oh well, maybe when I'm down in November, maybe I'll.
That's what she said. Wait, give me the weekend that you're down again.
It's the 11th and 12th.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then he shares a tweet. I'm sorry, it's a tweet. The reason sex with a vampire doesn't usually result in pregnancy isn't because their sperm is dead. It's because the vampire can't come inside without an invitation.
Hey-o.
Okay. That's really funny.
Oh, that's good.
And then John Sterling found out that this was episode 316 and got like super excited and made a bunch of wrestling jokes that I still didn't get, but
that's what
I don't get the wrestling jokes because I was like, 316. Okay, you think of John 316. So then I'm thinking of the Bible verse. What is the wrestling?
No, it's a wrestling joke.
What's the Bible verse?
John 3:16?
Isn't that for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Oh.
Well, if somebody could explain the wrestling thing.
Okay, hold on. Let me just
That'd be great.
wrestling. I'm going to Google it now. Wrestling 3:16. Oh, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh. Cool.
I've heard that name before, but it still doesn't mean anything.
So Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it does have something to do with the Bible verse, but I think he was like quoting it. I don't know. But anyway, I think the answer is something to do with the Psalms. But he says, "I just whooped your ass," and that does not sound like the psalm that I know. But cool. I like that.
Interesting.
Anyways,
I
Matt,
suppose that's what happens when you mix wrestling in the Bible.
yeah. Fun times. Gott says, I think it's a very good idea to drink the tequila that I provided when talking about Avenatti. Oh, fuck you in the face. I imagine if you drink enough, he will begin to seem credible. Okay, whatever. What happens in PO will stay in PO, but I fucking dare you to tell me how he seems uncredible.
And I will just say, Gott, I've said this before, but you talk about the man so much that I really do kind of think that you have a little bit of a crush on him.
There's totally has a crush on him.
Something there that you got a man crush on him, and you don't want to admit it, but there's something that opposites attract. Like I get it.
Can I call this episode "I Got a Man Crush"?
Yes, please.
mad that last week we didn't name it Got Tequila.
True. So this will be better. It will be about his crush on.
You just keep soliciting, and we'll give in.
Be careful what you wish for.
He says in his comment, hashtag so close to the title, hashtag now you are the title.
But maybe not in the way you wanted.
Michael and David in 3. Oh man, that works out in so many levels. So many levels. And then we'll finish this up with Matt's What She Said before we go on to Butter Shemales. How are we that far along? You have a good point. Okay, I'm ready now. If you could send it through the computer, I would take one too. I finally got mine last week. It was worth a couple hours of soreness. I had never actually been in one before. We did it we did it all in one day. I could go for some hot sauce right now. I definitely took in more. Just come in here. That afternoon, it all came out. I finished cleaning him off because it was on his face. And then let's see what we can get done in the next 15 minutes. All right, Butter Shemales. Okay, Shani, do you want to read the first one, or I can read the first one?
Go for it, because I think you can best explain the first one.
Okay, so I'm going to read this email in the original context in which it came.
Okay. That's what she said.
Okay.
This is from John. I literally just heard on the radio that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has publicly announced that she has been diagnosed with dementia. As someone who has had the honor and privilege to befriend and care about someone... Okay, Amanda, are you giving me the reaction that we wanted?
Yeah, I get it now.
Okay. So essentially, John sent the first paragraph of that email, and he had the wrong Supreme Court justice. And
both Colleen and I were so panicked that we both responded to it.
Yeah, because I was do you mean Sandra Day O'Connor? What?
It was the subject title and the email, or was the subject title still Sandra Day O'Connor?
The subject title was RBG.
Yeah. Oh.
So, I edited both. Yeah.
Yeah. So Shandy edited it.
Hashtag fixed it, but
why is it always the woman's job?
Oh, always the woman's job. But so he writes that, and I stopped
in my tracks.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle of I had read it at a traffic light because there's a super long traffic light.
Safe driving.
And I'm reading it, and I'm like, surely he means Sandra Day O'Connor. There can't be two of them in one day that announced this. Right. Is there some kind of sisterhood of the traveling dementia? Why is this happening? Oh my God. And then I was like, no, I haven't gotten 17 notifications of a Trump tweet about RBG having dementia, so this can't be. But this all went through my mind within the same 20 seconds. Yes. So that's when I was like, okay, I need to respond to this as quickly as I can before the light turns green. I was just like, hey, John, did you mean Sandra Day O'Connor? And then I went to write call, but I wrote cool instead and hit send. Same. But it was definitely a moment of
oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah.
To get into more serious mode. As someone who has had the honor and privilege to befriend and care about someone who is diagnosed with dementia later in life, this saddens me. Norman was highly intelligent, a friend to everyone he ever met, and very opinionated. I used to joke that we bonded over our mutual assholishness. The man I knew almost withered away, but by the grace of God, and a lot of help from others, I was able to get him the health care he needed. But to see this strong, bright, and funny person deteriorate right in front of my eyes was hard. Dementia doesn't run in my family, but its curse is not lost to me. My fellow lieutenant and closest colleague lost his father to dementia 5 years ago, and I know it's touched the lives of people close to your show. I just looked at the clock. It's after 5, time for some liquid happiness. That comes in the form of a depressant. Later, John, formerly Unit 316. Okay,
and there's a GIF, and I still don't get it, but
it's that I know that is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. My grandmother had Lewy body dementia, and which is the one that
Robin Williams
had, yeah, which is pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's
So-
what
I
Jay's
didn't know
grandfather
he had
had.
dementia.
Yeah, and I can see like how that like could have played into the end of his life and into his ultimate death by suicide, because like it like changes your personality. Like my grandmother was a super pious woman. She read a lot, but she would literally take books back to the library and not finish them if there was so much as like a sex scene or a swear word.
Wow.
But then when she was like well on in dementia, I remember specifically this one time we had this like family gathering, and she got up and just announced like, well, I'm going to go take a shit. And like everyone kind of was like, yeah, had that reaction. Like, it's kind of funny and you have to laugh because, you know, but like at the same time, you're like, I've literally never heard this woman utter one of those words in my entire life. And now she's saying that to the entire family. Like it just changes you.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. Oh, I have had dementia in my family as well. On my grandfather's side, or on my mom's side, my grandma's side, they've all died of either old age in their sleep or of heart disease. And on my grandfather's side, it's been cancer or dementia. So,
Oh, man. Dude, sign me up for old age.
I know. I'm like, I got 25%
That seems
chance
like
of
the
just
best.
being old. But with John's story, for anybody who doesn't know, John was featured 2 years ago in the local newspapers and on Facebook, as he had come across a veteran who needed some medical care, and his name was Norm. And they needed to raise money to get him get him treatment, and it was a $5,500 goal, and they ended up raising over $12,000.
Wow.
And Norm was a Korean War vet. He had dementia. He was awarded with he had a stay in the hospital. So John, who on his rounds, I guess, met him that way, had awarded him guardianship of him. And he helped him get benefits and Social Security and whatnot. But they needed to raise the money to get him the help that he needed in the facility. And that was, John's experience with dementia.
Wow.
That story is, it's amazing. It shows like just how caring humans can be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that kind of story is the kind of story where I'm like, wow, how can anyone vote conservative? Like, why do we do this? Where a veteran needs some sort of like crowdfunding to pay for basic health care. What is going on?
Yep.
Like so many levels of fucked up, but whatever.
Yeah.
Vote in a couple of weeks, everyone. Yay.
Saw an attack ad this morning, and they tried to say like universal health care was like a bad thing. They're like, cut your taxes, take away your guns, and universal health care. How is that a bad thing? So please explain to me how government-funded healthcare is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're playing on people's fear that I worked harder than that person, so why should they get the same thing that I get? I mean, don't forget, we did have a president who literally stood... What?
Your gun is a right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, your gun is right. Dude, people, John 3:16. Come on.
Oh.
Yep, there you go.
It took me a second. I was like,
I mean, that one's not about loving your neighbor as yourself, but you get the point.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the same lane.
Yes.
All right. Our next email is from Dr. T.
Dr. T, I'm with hers, aptly named. Dear broadcasters, first, I love the show. Thanks, Dr. T. I always listen as soon as it's available. Thanks, Dr. T. As a man, your opinions and experiences make me think and help me learn. Thank you. You're welcome. I have been listening to Jay and Jack since the Lost days and really enjoy all the shows. Shout out to Jack and Cindy's Dancing with the Stars podcast. Okay, let's get to it. Yes, Matt, that's what she said. Colleen, you featured in a dream I had recently. In the dream, I was attending a party, which is not something that makes me feel comfortable. I was naked, but no one noticed. I was feeling very anxious until I looked at a couch or a big chair and saw that Colleen was naked too. Now, before you get any ideas, like being creeped out, the dream was not sexual. I have had this kind of dream before, where I was naked and no one noticed, but I felt very uncomfortable. My interpretation is that my anxiety about being around groups of people makes me feel vulnerable and self-conscious. Usually, it is a negative dream. However, this time, once I saw Colleen and how happy and self-confident she was, I started to relax and enjoy myself. I should say that maybe I relaxed a little too much because the party was then revealed to be in the home of Jack and Cindy.
Man, I thought it was going to be like, because I farted, but okay.
Right.
That's not what I thought that was going to be.
Same. And I started changing the channels of the television that they were watching without asking.
That's nice and tame.
Yeah, that is pretty G. I realized what I was doing and apologized. They were polite and said it wasn't a problem. That's very wholesome. The point is, my enjoyment of the broadcast and my fond memories of the Fringe podcast have made Colleen a valued voice in my life. Thanks to you, Amanda, and Shandy for entertaining and inspiring me. All the best, Dr. T.
Oh my God, I love this email.
Yeah, that's right.
Is it perhaps the first time that a listener has had a naked dream about Colleen?
Well, I would hope not.
Or that they're willing to own up to.
Yeah.
That they're willing to own up to. Let's go with that. I mean, come on now.
You have been in the podcasting game for a long time.
Once in a while, I clean up nicely.
Oh, more than once in a while.
I hope I'm really super chatty while I'm naked in these dreams, because that never stops. No, in all seriousness, it sounds like a very, non-sexual, like, naked dream.
Yeah.
So.
No, it sounds like a very much like...
friendly.
You make him feel comfortable.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, okay, so great. I'm like so touched.
That's what she said.
Or that's what she didn't say, because it is very, very tame and respectful of an email.
Right.
Of a dream, I should say.
Good times.
Wish to be careful. You can't control your dreams, so just saying.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of this naked thing, spoiler alert for next week, we have an email that is on its way that is about going to a nude beach for the a listener's experience that I've gotten a heads up that we will be getting that next week. So,
oh my.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Confirmed.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. Anyway, Dr. T, thank you so much, and I really hope that you start to email in more often. I want to hear from everybody. So, anyway, yeah. So please, shoot us an email whenever anybody ever feels comfortable, because we love hearing from listeners, and we especially love hearing from new emails from listeners, because that's awesome.
Indeed.
And
okay, so my door just closed a little bit, and I had a little bit of a meltdown.
Was it just
Gabby is sitting right next to it. Oh my God. Woo, we're good.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Woo.
Anyway.
Good times. We have a voicemail from Maggie and then an email from Andy, and then we have those other emails about the photographer that we're going to get to now next week, and I'm really sorry, Jim and John. I feel like those are going to have like a lot of discussions. So I want to make sure we have enough time for those properly. So let's get into the voicemail from Maggie and then the email from Andy.
Hey, Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. It's Maggie calling in since I got called out about going to see the show. Rupee Kaur show. So, okay, I did look at it. There's a slight possibility I could go either night, but there's like literally 3 seats left, I think, for it, and the cheapest one is $117. Ooh. And so I don't know who this person is right now. I have trouble spending that much money, so I guess either convince me or tell me that's way too much. I don't know how much you paid Shandy, but I literally looked for 2 to see, like, Shandy, if I could go together. Like, because if it was, like, $40 for 2 tickets, I'd be like, sure. You know, $40 for a ticket, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. But, like, $117, especially right now, it's not quite the end of the month yet. I can't make that. Doesn't fit in my budget right now. I have some extra money, but I don't know if I have that much. So, but thanks for the call out and making me call.
It's funny that she also talks about like the end of the month money stuff, like we were talking about back in the beginning of the show.
Yeah,
full circle.
Yeah, full circle. I will say, Maggie, I paid more like 40, maybe 45, 50 with taxes per ticket, and there actually were cheaper tickets also. So definitely don't pay over 100 for just one. And I would say just like check out her books at the library and read them. And then next time she does a tour, maybe, go to that because like I'm all about it, but I think it would be a more enjoyable experience. So I'm not going to try to convince you to spend $117, but maybe next time.
Fair.
Agreed. And we'll finish up with Andy update.
Okay, so a quick week in Andy's virginity. Hey, broads, here's a quick update since it was another slow week. My friendship with Alice is going really well. I think we're getting closer as friends. We're going to hang out again once her friend's wedding is out of the way. There are some group events I'll hopefully see her at the next few weekends, so that'll be nice until her schedule frees up. That's about it. I'd ask how you are, but I assume you went over it at the top of the show.
Fair.
I know you like hearing from me every week, but sometimes there's not much to say. Hashtag I'm with hers, Andy.
We do
that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do like hearing from you every week, though, just to check in because you're our friend.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Okay, so I had this palate cleanser thing, but I don't think that we need it. No, honestly, because I feel like we're all like super happy and stuff. But if you want it, I'll read it real quick.
I'm super intrigued.
Are you intrigued?
It's like a little bit of sorbet at the end of the meal.
Okay. I'm trying to pull it up because I actually closed it down before because I was like, oh, we won't get to it. But now I'm like, shit, we got to it. So
It's just like that's what she said, minefield.
I know.
Seriously. Have your pick, Matt.
Okay, here we go. So essentially, there was a woman who posted on social media she was at Disney about how much she hates childless couples that go to Disney. Okay?
What?
So, you ready for this rant? I'm going to read it verbatim. Okay?
Okay.
So please keep in mind, like, sick in advance with the grammar. It pisses me off to no end when I see childless couples without at Disney World. Disney World is a family amusement park, yet these immature millennials throw away their money on useless crap. They have no idea the joy and happiness it is to mothers who buy their babies treats and toys. They will never experience the exhaustion that it is to chase a 3-year-old around and getting stares at assuming I'm a bad mother.
Girls got issues.
It's really selling the parenting thing.
This cunt in some very slutty shorts was buying a Mickey pretzel and My son wanted one, but the line was very long, so I said later, and it broke his poor heart, and he cried, and I wanted to take that fucking pretzel from that tramp, like, thanks, bitch, you made my son cry.
Whoa!
I'm sorry, that's a large jump.
Yes, I do believe patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
Perhaps she could try teaching it to her child.
Much like John
Learning you
3:16.
can't have everything you want.
Yes. Imagine that.
Even the happiest place on earth.
Act 3.
Even at the happiest place on earth, you could go there as a child twice and get heat stroke and end up in the nurse's station.
Did you really?
Twice?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I mean, not really heat stroke. That's probably an exaggeration, but I really did have to, like...
Yeah.
As someone with the complete opposite complexion as you, I don't understand what that means.
It's heat is hard.
Yeah. I've had sun poisoning before. I feel you, girl. It sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the final rant from our crazy social media mom. Disney World is for children. People without children need to be banned. Mothers with children should be allowed to skip all the lines. You have no fucking idea what it's like to have to stand in line for 3 hours with a cranky, tired, exhausted toddler.
That's why you go without kids, right?
Right. Or you wait until they're not a toddler anymore.
Hold on.
They're not going to remember
Waste
anyway.
of money. Just light all the money on fire. Put it in their college fund.
And I can't.
Remember?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. If mothers with children skip all the lines, there'd still be a line of mothers with children. Kind of like how TSA PreCheck now has a line because, you skip the line, but everybody else has the fucking PreCheck, so you're in line.
Yep.
Okay. And I can't just tell him that we can't do something because it's his vacation too. I fucking hate childless women with a burning passion. And then there's a lot of angry emojis.
I would love to see the type of child she is raising.
Oh, good Lord.
Well,
yeah.
Not to be all judgy, but, I'm already there.
Oh, I am there.
Yeah. I think she's not doing a very good job.
I am like
Missing
beyond
some
there.
crucial how to be a good human being lessons.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times, right? So anyway, I thought everybody would get to that.
All that really says to me is this woman really wishes that she had gone to Disneyland before she had kids.
Okay, so this article says 3 things to me. One is that. The second one is she hasn't had an orgasm maybe ever. And I forgot the third one at this point. Because I didn't write them down.
So
and you
did she
laughed.
because she's fixated on the no orgasm thing. Which is fair. But.
But it is based on something that you just said. Like, this woman clearly needs to go to Disney World without children so she can fully appreciate it.
Yep.
Oh
my God.
Epcot
Get
is
herself
not...
that fast pass. Like, large.
Go in November. No one is there.
No, go during the Epcot, like, Food and Wine Festival.
Ooh, I've always wanted to do that.
Me too.
That sounds great. Just don't go in July.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hot.
All right. On that note, thank you to our patrons. If you'd like to become a patron, you can do so at patreon.com/JayandJack. You can check out the different levels that we have there. Special thank you to some of the patrons that contribute at a certain level, and that would be Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Rickner, Ed, the Skid Mark Detective / Creepy Mailman, Joanne with a Plan, and Maggie the Magnificent. Thank you guys so very much. If you'd like to shop through our Amazon affiliates link, you can do so at jayandjack.com/Amazon. Christmas shopping is coming up. Or if you're like me and you bought like 18,000 Halloween costumes through that link. It's like I'm paying myself to buy Halloween costumes. Please, we would be very, grateful if you would consider doing that too. If you'd like to pick up your Team Universe / Team Science mug, you can do so at janejack.com/store, and that would be like the Teespring store for it. Am I leaving anything out?
Don't think so.
That's good.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So next week we're recording on Halloween because I am going to see Double Dare with Elena, which should be super fun. And then we'll record on Halloween again, which, you know, is, I guess, the best tradition ever because I love Halloween. And the following week is Election Day, and I still maintain that I'm not sure if I'm emotionally capable of recording on Election Day.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
So let's all keep that in mind as well. I'm okay with maybe doing a live show, but I'm also not sure if I can physically handle it. So, yeah. What Shandy just did right now is how I feel every day of my life. Hashtag why I drink. But anyway, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, okay, cool. On that note, thanks everybody for listening. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
And peace out.
See you later.
Bye.